Carvel DeWitt would like to invite you in for the freshest handmade ice cream cakes in town. No matter what the occasion, Carvel DeWitt has the cake for you. Carvel DeWitt is starting a new tradition, a free side order of our world-famous chocolate crunchies with every freshly handmade ice cream cake. Carvel DeWitt, it's what happy tastes like.
Time I've been to the press room, there's more people here than there was in the game. There's some occasion here tonight. Talk about the game. I thought, we had a slow start. Generally, when you go to New York and you play in a big tournament and you come back, it's a little bit hard to get going. We had a day off, and I don't think we ever got our energy level up. I thought Rob did a tremendous job of just slowing it down and keeping control of the game. And, James made a couple shots in the first half, or we probably would have been behind at halftime. And second half, we got our energy up. I thought we executed a little better on offense and got some shots and finished the game. It's always tough when you're coming back from that trip to this, and then everybody's going to look forward a little bit to Friday. But as far as my statement is, it's hard to put everything into words, and I've thought a lot today about different things. But I'm saddened in many ways by what's unfolded, the events that have unfolded. And I'm looking forward to a time when we can talk and learn from what has happened. There's an important investigation going on, which I fully support, and I can't add anything to that by speaking more about that now. The investigation and all that we can learn from it is what is important. And if you didn't get that all written down, they'll pass one out to you. But, that's all I can say. I'd be glad to answer questions about the game, but I seriously doubt that anybody will have one, but we'll try to go forward.
You acknowledge that the initial statements may have been insensitive.
I've said everything that I'm going to say.
What about your job status, Coach? The Chancellor gave you some support today, but it seems...
Can I tell you something? I've never worried about my job status in 36 years. Many years I didn't have a contract extension. I didn't have anything. When I worry about that, I may have to get a job with you guys.
Coach, was it heartening to have the coach's vote of confidence today? The Chancellor's vote of confidence?
I've been here for 36 years, and I've never worried about anything. I just do. I don't worry. I do my job. I do my job. What happened on my watch, we will see. When the investigation is done, we will find out what happened on my watch. We don't know what's happened on my watch right now. There's an investigation underway. There are no charges. There are no indictments. There is no grand jury. There is no action being taken. When that is done, then we will see what has happened on my watch.
You put down some of the allegations.
My memory's not as good as it used to be. I'm 66. There's an important investigation going on, and everything we learn from this investigation is what is the most important thing. And I think when there's an investigation going on, you have to wait until the investigation is completed. And that's all I'm saying here.
Coach, do you feel bad? This man's your friend.
Pardon?
This man's your friend. You must have missed him tonight. This must have been painful for you.
I've already said all that. I've already covered that.
What is the policy of the basketball team now on traveling with ball boys, and has that changed since this started?
There is no ball boys that travel with the team, and there never has been.
You're saying that never happened?
No ball boys as a ball boy such. We've had 1,500 in the 36 years I've been here, approximately. Some girls, so it's not exactly accurate, but in the neighborhood of 1,500. And the only actual ball boys that I know of that have traveled with the team are my sons. People have been ball boys, and then they've moved in and gone on to be other things in other places. And it's not unusual for tournament time for people to travel with our group. They're not ball boys, though.
Not in that capacity.
They're not ball boys, exactly.
Okay, so they could have been friends of Bernie Fine.
They are not ball boys. That was the question I was asked. That's all I'm going to say.
I feel badly for her.
I've said that. I think I made that perfectly clear the first day.
So you still feel badly for her?
I think I made my feelings clear. I've said what I'm going to say. Until this investigation is done, okay? I did that once. I don't want to do that again. We have to wait. I wish there's something more I could add to that, but we have to wait. Congratulate you, Brent. You were very good on your show.
Have you spoken with Bernie
I had to
Fine,
listen
Coach?
to it. I hate that, but didn't have anything else to do.
Questions about the game?
Anything about the game? Everything about, yes.
What was it like to go up against Coach Murphy?
Murphy, Coach did a great job. He's a great guy. I really love the guy. He was unbelievable for us, what he brought to the table for us over years as a coach, as a player, or as a coach and a recruiter. And he's done a great job. This team won 6 games last year. They lost their 2 best players, and he's done a tremendous job. They played great tonight. And, we just obviously got more personnel. He's got some guys sitting out that will really help him. He's got a good system. I don't know where he got that system, but it's a good system. I think he'll do well with it.
When minors travel with the team, aren't you ultimately responsible for them?
I've answered that question.
Coach,
I think I did.
After the 2005 university investigation,
People are allowed to take members and people that they want to go with them, relatives, friends, with them on the team.
It's a minor, though. Doesn't the
After
buck
the
Any
stop-
questions?
After
Question.
the 2005 university investigation, none of that information was passed on to authorities back then. Do you know if there were any discussions?
I have no knowledge. I have a great deal of respect for the Syracuse newspapers and ESPN.
So this was the
They
first-
decided in 2005, when they did their investigation, I believe,
I'm talking about the Syracuse investigation.
I think there were 3 investigations that were done in 2005. All right?
But were there any discussions
I
of passing that
cannot.
information on to the police department?
Let me go back here.
Did you write those words, or did the university write those words?
I actually wrote these with a friend of mine.
Coach, your stance.
I didn't memorize them, though.
Your stance and your message public message has changed in the last 10
No,
days.
I don't think it has.
From your initial comments, you had said that they might have...
Based on what I knew at that time, that there were 3 investigations and nothing was corroborated, meaning whatever was said was true was by 3 different sources wasn't corroborated. It was not corroborated, meaning that they didn't find it to be able to go forward with it. It wasn't, that's the determination they made. I didn't make. That was the basis for me saying what I said. That they had nothing. They had nothing that was found to be truthful or corroborated, whatever you want to say, in that case.
Coach, with all
Coach,
due
that
respect,
first-
with all due
that
respect,
first
Coach, you said
statement.
more than that.
No,
You said they were liars.
I said
and you questioned
based-
whether they were after money.
Based on what I knew at the time, 3 investigations could not corroborate what they said. That what they said wasn't there. That's what I said.
You obviously felt the need to temper those remarks
Well,
and refer to them as
again,
insensitive. And I'm
again.
curious why that position changed.
Again, as obviously more facts came out, more facts did come out. The university made a change in their, and it's not a change. I mean, so much one day, and the next day or 2 days or 3 or 4 days later, you learn something else and
So what
you go
changed for
forward.
you? What changed for you?
Well, I think the university statement was accurate. I think they acted on the information that they got. That's it.
Why with that new information, with your initial statement being so public and aggressive?
I had no idea of any
But
tape.
why was the second foray into discussing this a written statement? Why weren't you just as public?
Well, I think we're really at a point where in investigations, this is where we are. We're going to make a statement, and we're going to wait until the investigation is over before we can say anything more. That's basically,
Have you been called to testify under oath yet at all? Do you anticipate that?
No.
Questions about the game?
There's not. No, Pete, give it up. Give it up.
You said numerous times we have to wait. Do you wish you had waited before speaking initially?
I supported a friend. That's what I thought I did. I'm proud that I did. I think if you've known somebody and worked with somebody worked with them for 36 years and known them for 48 years, you went to school with them, I think you owe a debt of allegiance and gratitude for what he did for the program, and that's what my reaction was, and so be it.
Coach, do you think there's a chance he will coach with you again?
Coach, you got 2 standing ovations today before the game. What that
You know, I've never worried about any ovations. I go out there, I don't want an ovation. I want the ovations to go for the players. That's what it's about. I'm the coach. You know, one other thing. I think there's a misconception, and this is a good opportunity. I may be able to clear some up. Not anything about this investigation. A few years ago, we decided to go to the ACC. Back a few years. I wasn't consulted and shouldn't have been. This time we decided to go to the ACC. I wasn't consulted and shouldn't be. We hired a new athletic director a few years ago. I wasn't consulted. I wasn't on the panel. They didn't ask me to say hello, and it should be that way. When they hired the chancellor, I didn't even know where she was from. And it should be that way. That's the way it's always been at Syracuse University. I have zero say in who's hired, fired, assigned, whatever you want to say, period. I have say in who starts and what plays we run. Sometimes they don't run the play I ask them, but like to start the second half night, we got that layup there, that shot and that dunk. I called those 2 plays. But
You also have say over your assistants, I would say.
you know, my assistants work for me, and I have absolute say on everything that they do in the basketball program. What people do outside the program, I have very little, if any, control over adults. But to make my point, I think there's a misconception that, well, he's been there 36 years. He runs he's bigger than the program. If I was gone today, this program would be fine. This program would do great. If 10 years from now, this program will do great. This is not Jim Boeheim. This is Syracuse University basketball program. It is not about me. It never has been about me. Roy Danforth won here, Fred Lewis won here, and the guy next, Mike Hopkins, will win here as well. It's not anything. I have no power. I'm lucky that I get dinner that I like at home. My wife determines what dinner's going to be, and I eat it.
After the Colgate game, you said something like, do you think anybody tells me what to do? And then you looked over at your wife and said, excuse me.
She does.
When you make a remark like that,
Well, sometimes-
doesn't it sound arrogant and maybe like you're coming out bigger than the school?
Well, when I'm talking, everything has to be put in context, and I appreciate your question because it allows me to put that in context. When I mean, if I believe something's right, something that I need to do, I will do it. If I don't have an opinion and somebody tells me what to say or do and I don't have an opinion, I'm fine with it, then that's fine. But I'm talking more about coaching decisions. I'm talking more about who plays, who doesn't play. As far as if the chancellor of this university calls me and says, Jim, this is what we're going to do, that's what we're going to do.
I think the question that was posed to you, though, was
About what
were
I
you
said,
told-
what to say.
Were you told to temper your remarks?
No.
You said, do you think anybody tells me what to say?
And that's what I believe that, but in a broader context is what I really was getting to there. And as far as telling me what to say, this is my ideas and with help from somebody else. My statement the other night was my ideas with help from somebody else. I'm not very good at writing things down, and most would probably say I'm not that good at speaking either, but when I made that statement, I was more in the general sense, like, you know, if I don't want to say that, I'm not going to say it. If it's something I feel is not something I can say. If it's something that people suggest to me or somebody suggests this statement and I feel that's good, yeah, then I'm going to say it. But I think if you're an adult in this world, you know, you have to do what you feel is in your heart to do. And, you know, Julie and I have been working with kids in this city for years and will continue to, and, you know, all kinds of kids. And that's what we're going to do, and we're going to continue to do it.
Coach, why is it important to have that separation that you talked about?
I think it's important. I don't think any coach should have any say in anything. I don't have any say in the budget, how we travel. That's all up to Dr. Gross. He makes those decisions, and it should be that way. If I ask him something about, well, can we do this, he'll listen, and sometimes we can and sometimes we can't. But it never should be the coach's decision as to what goes on, other than his players, what they're doing. These are university events. I wanted to build a practice facility in the worst way for 15 years, and I couldn't get it done. Couldn't get anybody to do it. And Dr. Gross came in, I pushed him, we talked about it, and he and the chancellor said, you know, that's a good idea. Just go raise the money. But, you know, that's a good idea, and it's helped us tremendously. I wish we'd had it sooner, but it's helped us tremendously.
Your statement earlier seemed to indicate, and just for clarity, seemed to indicate that you still have questions about the allegations.
No, that's not what I said. I've never said that in any way, shape, or form.
As coach of this program, what is your responsibility in this then? What do you think? Do you hold any responsibility?
Ultimately, the head coach is responsible for everything. I think you knew that, didn't you?
What do you hold yourself responsible for?
Everything that I can control, I hold myself responsible for.
Have you talked to Coach Fine since the firing?
You know, I'm not going to talk about any communications like that.
What do you think of Rakim's game? He got more time on the court tonight than he's got.
Yeah, I thought he was better. Michael was the most impressive, you know, one of the most impressive to me because he said struggled to get into our plays. And I think he didn't hear me a couple times when I called the play. And now I think he's hearing me better.
19 points for James Sutherland. What did you like about the way he responded after not scoring in the 2 games?
About everything, I thought. I liked everything. We see his own defense, James' eyes get big. He's just got to get his eyes big when we see a man-to-man. Yes, sir.
Will James be playing against Florida upcoming this weekend?
Well, let me see. Whose decision is that? Oh, that's mine. We'll find out Friday night. We'll see. We'll see Friday night.
Coach, now 4 games with Jerry McNamara as an assistant coach. What does he bring for the team in the assistant coach?
Well, I think the great thing with Jerry, he's been with us. He's the guard. He's played guard here. He knows the position. He's working with the guards. So I think it's an easy transition. And Mike has worked with big guys before, so that's been a good transition. The staff has done a great job, a tremendous job. You know, and the last thing I'd like to cover, because I've heard this a lot, the players will not be distracted. We may not win every game. If we lose a game, it's not going to be because they're distracted. They're going to play. We'll keep them focused. The important thing as a coach that you try to teach your players from the first day they get here is that they have to be focused when they come in, 2.5 hours. They got 21.5 hours. They can do other things and what they feel they have to do. But for that 2.5 hours, we put everything behind us. As a coaching staff, we actually work a little bit more than that, but we're going to be focused when we have to be. And when we get out on the court, we're going to be focused again, and then we're going to get ready for the next game. And that's what you do. I mean, that's what you have to do as a coach. And if you ask your players to do that, then you're going to do it. And I think when people talk about focus, whether it's this or distractions, whether it's this or a girl, whatever it is, those are excuses. We do not make excuses.
Coach, when you heard the audio tape,
I didn't hear the tape, so
you haven't heard it?
No. Pardon?
Are you saying this situation does not affect the team?
Does not. That's right.
Are you curious about the tapes, or I just want to know why you haven't heard it, because everyone else in this room has?
As soon as we get the information, nothing, one thing or this thing or that thing. We got to wait until we get all the information. Then, you know, then we'll go. The only thing I know for sure is, well, I didn't know that. Thank you.
Thank you, Coach.